Marvellous. Thank you. Very, very short question. Israel versus Hamas. Good guy versus bad guy. Russia versus Ukraine. Who's the good guy and who's the bad guy?
Both are bad, one is worse.
Which way round?
Russia is worse than Ukraine.
Okay, so why haven't we pursued that?
What do you mean?
Well, it seems to me that in the whole of the current US proposition, that Ukraine is being the bad guy.
In what way? We funded Ukraine upwards to $200 billion.
Absolutely. But
We just signed a mineral deal with Ukraine, not Russia.
yeah, but you are expecting Ukraine to give up 20% of its territory to someone who invaded it.
Well, is Crimea part of Russia or Ukraine?
Ukraine.
That's where we don't agree.
Well, I'm afraid that's part of international treaty. That's not up for grabs.
Well, it's interesting. I mean,
that's the point. I mean,
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Hold on, I'm trying to think. I feel like you can rank people like for who would go to like the concentration camp, who would go to the death camps, who I would just like pogrom based on like the Ukraine, Russia, and the Israel Palestine takes. I think that I feel like the pro-Israeli, anti-Ukrainian people, I think are on the worst. I think are like the highest tier of people that I hate. I think after that is probably pro-Russia, pro-Palestine. And then after that would be... No, I think those are the two worst. Oh my God. Oh my God.
even Zelensky has said he's willing to give up Ukraine.
No. America signed the agreement that gave Ukraine Crimea.
Right.
When the Soviet Union ended.
Right. It was done. And first of all, it never should have been done. It was largely ceremonial.
Listen to that pivot. I need to, dude, I can't. I hate these. I hate politics. It's all so boring. Like, one thing, I'm trying to think of, like, what mode is your mind in when you're getting these questions? And the mode, it must just be, like, political optimization. Like, what can I say to make my side sound the best? Like, there's never an engagement with the question. There's another layer of filtering. So a guy says, do you think that Crimea belongs to Ukraine? And the parsing of the question is not, did Crimea ever belong to Ukraine? The parsing of the question is, well, no, I guess you must answer that first. And the answer to that is probably yes. But you're not concerned with that. I'm trying to think, do you process the actual answer first and then try to morph it into a politically correct answer? Or is the politically correct answer the one that your mind goes to first because you're doing a different type of processing, right? Like Crimea very clearly and obviously belonged to Ukraine. There's no intelligent person, no sane person debates this. This is an undebated, this is the most boring, undebated topic in the world. It's like asking, like if you're walking north and you turn left, or you're going west. It's just like nobody's debating this. But it's like, okay, well, I'm pro-Trump, and Trump is like vaguely pro-Russia right now, so I have to say that Crimea probably always belonged to Russia, so that Russia's not quite as bad as they actually are. Okay, so did Crimea belong to Ukraine? No, we disagree. Like, it's like there's some other level of processing, and it's just so cringe and boring. It should just be like a duel or something at this point. Like, if you're just gonna be this fucking stupid.
But however, it was annexed under Obama. Yes, and it was a mistake, and it should be given back to Russia as a sign of good gesture to end this conflict.
Okay.
Obama. Right. It was done. And
gave Ukraine.
Oh, I say this because because he says it was a mistake. By the way, when he says it's a mistake, then it sounds like you're making the concession, that it was Ukraine's, right? Like, was it Ukraine's or Russia's? It was Russia's. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure Ukraine had it. Well, that was a mistake. Okay, so then it was Ukraine's, or was it a mistake that it was Russia and it should have been Ukraine? Like, what do you mean there?
Crimea.
Right.
When the Soviet Union ended.
Right. It was done. And first of all, it never should have been done. It was largely ceremonial. But however, it was annexed.
When you say largely ceremonial, so it wasn't completely ceremonial, it sounds like it was a thing. Also, what the fuck does it mean to ceremonially give land and create a government and what?
Under Obama. Yes, and it was a mistake, and it should be given back to Russia as a sign of good gesture.
What do you mean it was annexed under Obama? I don't even know what that reference is to.
End this conflict. Okay. Who's currently controlling Crimea? Where was the Russian Navy headquartered in World War II? Where was the end of...
In World War II? Which country are you talking about in World War II? And do they still exist today? What does that have to do with anything? Like, I'm sorry, in World War II, that's such an easy return question. Oh, shit, in World War II. Well, in World War II, what was Israel doing? Oh, they didn't exist. So should they not today? Like, what a weird...
World War II. This is very...
It's not weird. It's just political calculations. It's so cringe.
I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying that if we're being logical on what has happened, that you're now arguing against that flow. And I don't understand it. Because actually, why is Ukraine the bad guy?
No, I said they're bad. They're not the bad guy.
Yeah, well, you said they were both bad, but one's more bad.
Correct, yes.
So why is Ukraine bad?
Well, there's a lot wrong with Ukraine. First of all, they're not a democracy. Zelensky refused to hold an election.
Well, no, he can't hold an election.
Oh, wait, did Churchill hold an election during the war?
Because under his...
Well, like, these aren't real questions. this is not a real question. Like they don't hold elections. Like these are deeply unserious people, but they're propagandists. It's not that they're unserious; they're propagandists. I just wish they wouldn't masquerade, I guess, as like political people. Like I wish it was more acceptable to just be like a partisan activist or something. And like, because I truly don't believe there's anything wrong with being a partisan activist. Like you should, like every side needs these people. That's fine. I just wish they would masquerade as historians or intellectuals or debaters or whatever else. Just like go do that job, and then you could like hold events where like who gives like the best like political argument for something, but like get rid of like, don't pretend that you're in the realm of like fact, or pretend that you're in the realm of some kind of objective analysis. Like it's so cringe.
Hold on, Lincoln held election during the war. That's not true. He can call an election. He can call a snap election. He's full dictator of the country.
No.
Because he knows that the people of Ukraine would kick him out immediately because he's deeply unpopular. In fact, if he wanted to show a statement to the world, he would call an election and win by 80% and say, see, I'm super popular. So that's number one. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with a person being propped up as a government we're sending $200 billion to that refuses even to face his voters.
Okay, I can't agree with you factually on that at all. Constitution.
It's not even factually. You don't. I mean, he's right. He shouldn't agree with him factually, because factually he's wrong on like 6 different levels. But regardless, that's not even relevant to the question. What is even the point of bringing this up? Even if you did concede all of this, which you wouldn't, and I wouldn't even say that, even if I conceded that, because I wouldn't bother conceding that, because there's nothing to concede here at all. His position is egregiously and offensively incorrect on multiple levels. Not the least of which they don't have to hold an election right now. But it's so not relevant to anything.
Ukraine is not able to hold an election because it's under military law at the moment, and that's just a matter of fact. Again, he can,
like,
as a...
You should... This is... And I've thought about this. I have thought about this, and I try to do this. You just need to develop a set, I think, of pointed questions, is what you should do. Like, oh, okay, so they should hold an election in Ukraine. Charlie, how are they going to hold the election in, like, Donetsk and Luhansk, or in Crimea? Or should they not hold the election there? How are they going to hold the election? Remember how much you guys hated mail-in voting? What are they going to do about all the soldiers that are currently deployed? You know, what about any of the other areas under Russian control? What about for people that have fled the country right now because it's a time of war? Do their votes not count? Do we do international mail-in votes? Like even logistically, it's nonsense. This is a nonsense. You should ask for the answer to that. Answer that question. How would they even conduct a fucking election right now?
Prime Minister or President, he can do whatever he wants.
He can't.
Okay,
He can't sign an executive order and change their constitution. Okay. Neither can the American president either. So hopefully this
he could even do a ceremonial election to see where he actually stands with.
Like, listen to how fucking retarded this guy. Look at how fucking stupid Smallface sounds here. Why not just have a ceremonial election, bro? Like, he can go on Twitter and do a fucking poll if he wants. What do you mean?
I think we call those opinion polls.
Yes, and they're very negative.
Firm your head in the opinion.
Again, but you would agree that a person that holds on to power without the election of the sovereign is pretty questionable.
No, not in those circumstances.
Okay, then we disagree.
No, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But give me another reason why you.
They are the most corrupt country in Europe that never even met the most remote standards of joining NATO.
No one's even talking about joining NATO right now. That has nothing to do with anything. These are just so many pivots and not like totally irrelevant things.
Where a lot of this money is going.
I don't disagree that there is a problem with corruption, but the most corrupt country in Europe. Are you sure about that?
I'd have to double or triple think about that, but they're very corrupt.
Okay, so that's a little bit doubtful. It's not absolutely.
I do agree. He does need to double think about that. Good expression. Let me do some double think real quick.
Well,
there's plenty of corruption. I mean, let's face it. We are talking about comparison with some of the states you're doing business with in Gulf.
Of course, but we're not giving them money; they're giving us money. That's the difference, right? Saudi Arabia.
So it's fine.
Well, hold on a second.
Wait, what? It's not good if we give them money, but if they give us money and they're corrupt, that's okay? What?
In Gulf.
Of course, but we're not giving them money; they're giving us money. That's the difference, right? Saudi Arabia.
So it's fine.
Well, hold on a second.
It's morally acceptable to take money from corrupt people.
Well, hold on. First of all, as far as morally acceptable, you do what's best.
That was a good question. That was such an obviously stupid retort.
For the benefit of your country. And so, for example, we were allied with Russia during the Second World War, and I'm glad we were. And I would ask you,
don't forget,
how much money is too much money to send to Ukraine? We're at $200 billion right now.
What does that have to do? Why is he talking about Russia in World War II? We also had a whole Cold War with Russia after that. Is he forgetting that? Like, that like it didn't go World War II and then Iraq War and then fucking Russia, Ukraine. Why are we skipping over like 60, 70 years of history? Or not, I guess it'd be like 40, 50 years of history. Why are we doing this? Or are we trying to rewrite the whole Cold War as never having happened? Are we getting rid of Rocky IV?
I don't think you have to send any more money to Ukraine. We agree. I think you have to agree to support them as a free country and perhaps sell them weapons, like you're very happy to sell weapons to less free countries. And I think Europe will pick up the slack, as we ought to. And I don't disagree with some of the comments about Europe not looking after its own security.
You shouldn't. I don't think this man should make any concessions to Charlie Kirk because he's not looking for good faith concessions. This guy is a fucking demon. Would you make concessions to a demon if he was standing in front of you and he was trying to argue for why he should be able to eat the souls of your parents and sister? And the guy's like, "Oh, didn't your sister cheat on a math test? And I'm going to eat their souls and lock them into hell forever." And you're like, "You do make a good point, Satan. I think she did actually cheat on it." Like, no, the fuck? No, you don't make concessions to demons? What the fuck? This is so stupid. Or he's not stupid. I don't mean to imply the professor's stupid.
I just don't get this approach, which was supposedly to end the war quickly, which now seems to be elongating it, and in doing so, throwing up a smokescreen of very variable facts, if they are facts at all, about how things occurred, which actually isn't helping things. And if people can't see that Putin is stalling, I'm just...
I agree with you. I think he might be stalling.
And therefore, and I think even your president has acknowledged the fact that he thinks he might be stalling.
Correct. So we don't have a disagreement there.
No, we don't. No,
we just have a disagreement about the efficacy of tactics, and we don't know. And I'm willing to say we could be wrong.
No. Oh, well,
of course you could be wrong in life.
Like, he shouldn't say, "I'm willing to say we could be wrong." He should say, "I was wrong. Trump was wrong." Trump said he would end the conflict on day one. How many months in are we now? He hasn't ended it yet. So Trump was wrong. Clearly, he has no idea what's going on.
We could all be wrong. But actually bringing that war to an end consistently actually isn't going very well. And I would just suggest to you that whatever tactics have been used are perhaps not the best. And they are certainly inconsistent with what's going on in the Middle East and how America has been treating parties in the Middle East. But I've had enough of your time.
Fair. No, that's a fair contention. Thank you very much.
Very much indeed.
Thank you.